You can't stop. Syncro and Slipshock. You rocking with the homies of Asgard.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I am Slipshock, and welcome to Homies of Asgard. This beautiful human being over here is Syncro Champ.
Hi. How's it going?
Man. Well, sheesh. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., am I
True.
right?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. What year is it?
Yeah.
You just time travel on me.
Yeah, I did. I literally just got the Bifrost. You know, sometimes it, throws me up a little bit. But Authority, same thing, same shit. And that was a joke there. I'm sorry.
I'm not smart enough for this.
You're pretty, so you good.
Damn! You're crazy. You're insane.
All right, everyone, how's it going? I'm pretty sure that you guys had total fun with the announcements that Mr. James Gunn had blessed you guys with this morning. We're not getting into that right now. Let's talk about.
Are we not? Are we saving it for the end? The juicy shit?
It's like, see, unlike Sony, I want to get the PlayStation Spider-Man BS out the way. Bro, it was 15 milliseconds, bro. What are y'all doing? I came back, right? I was sitting at the crib. I was at work. I look at my phone. I see a bunch of subscriber things. New Spider-Man trailer. And I'm like, oh, really now?
Did we get news?
Got some news? Am I gonna be right for a change? Is it gonna drop in November? No, we just see a live action quick snippet and Peter and Miles doing a quick run, probably chasing after the Rhino and whatnot. You know what? While that was all cool, I feel let down. I feel like I want to sue some people for emotional damage.
You know a really good lawyer.
Yes, but he's in the Marvel Universe, so we had to go back to the Marvel Universe eventually. Well, two of them actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that'll work out for you, man.
I don't know. You don't think so? I mean, it's emotional damage. Like legitimately, I woke up, I jumped out the bed, hit my toe, all of that. If anything, it was a physical damage too. So I think I need some money for that too. Personal.
I feel like you got yourself a case here. I don't know where we're going with this bit.
I'm just messing around. But no. What? How did you feel the moment that you seen the 15 seconds Spider-Man's asses?
I too heard about it through the grapevine, as it were, through the YouTube thumbnail game. I was just like, there's a lot of Spider-Man going on in my YouTube sub box for some reason. I wonder what that's about. So I went and I looked it up because I didn't want to click on anyone's thumbnails because I hate everyone in my sub box equally. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I actually have no reason for why I just didn't click on someone's video. I'm a dick. Regardless, I found the actual video and I watched that and I was like, well, I don't know what I expected, but that was about a CGI thing that definitely wouldn't actually be in the game. Like, it doesn't tell us anything. Like, why are we talking about it? I don't understand. But sure. Like, some people see anything and they'll get excited, and I get that. And like, if you want to be hyped, go ahead. I'm not gonna take that from you, but I'm not hype over that personally.
Funny story, everybody. I am sorry for those individuals who were very hype about Jedi Survival. I'm sorry. I may have spoken some, bad stuff into the area for you. I was talking with some friends, and we were like talking about all the games that come out in March. Destiny's DLC, WWE 2K23, Jedi, and some, other stuff, right? And I was like, man, it's too much stuff going on at one point. My wallet is screaming. Why can't y'all delay some stuff? What happened to delaying stuff back? And I may have spoke that into existence, so I'm sorry.
I'll never forgive you. That's my game of the century right there, and there it goes. It's all I ever wanted. It's nerdy Dark Souls, Slip. That's the two things that I like. I don't like anything else.
I'm sorry. I didn't expect. Listen. Personally, I was thinking like WWE was gonna get pushed out. That was what really pushed me away. Right. That was what really threw me off. Was like hearing that WWE was in March, and I was like, what do you mean in March? I thought it was in like November. And then it came out in March last year too. I'm like, no, it didn't. It came out in November. So I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, it definitely was March 8th. So I was like, yo, we need to chill out with some of these things. See?
They switched for it to come out before WrestleMania.
I appreciate that tidbit.
Sure.
Because I was confused. Thank you. And Jay, as I was telling everybody, and Ethan, you as well. It's solely my fault that Jedi Survival was delayed because I was complaining about games not being delayed because there was too many happening in March. Because I found out that WWE was coming in March again this year, and it didn't put two and two together at that point. And 2 days later, they announced that it was being delayed, and I feel like it was the Cosmos on my fault. Did you figure out? I have not actually. I believe what they're doing is, which is pretty cool. I believe they're doing a surprise cover star, so like we'll know who the cover star is once they actually release the game. That's what I'm assuming. That'd be weird. They didn't have like a cover star on their games, right? That'd be kind of weird.
I don't know enough about wrestling for any of this, man. What the fuck are we talking about?
Okay, Lord, John Cena. Biggest thing is, you can't see me, and so
yes,
everybody's always on my invisible years, and he's the
oh my god, I'm so dumb, dude. Oh my god. I literally just didn't get it. And now I'm embarrassed because I've even seen the memes. I'm just fucking dumb. I'm just bad at existing as a streamer today. Oh, well.
No. I mean, listen, I almost get to get out of bed. So hey, it was this close to not being a podcast tonight.
I do not blame you. Not at all. Don't be sad. Slip butchered it. Damn, that's crazy.
I didn't butcher it. It was a nice, like, math problem, trigonometry. Gosh, I'm sorry I'm not enough for you, Jay.
Man, you know what is enough for me, Slip?
What's up?
Deadpool being in Midnight Suns. What a segue! Oh,
I love it.
Oh man, I have you played with Deadpool and Midnight Suns yet?
Yes, I have. It was actually that trailer was enough for me, sir. It was pretty fun, actually. I do like his skills, and I do like the banter. I also find it hilarious that the first bug that I got for him was him pushing Peter Parker on the bar. So the first impression of like Deadpool and Abby is Deadpool staring at Peter's ass. Mm-hmm. It's canon. It's always been canon.
Very true. Very true. Ethan, we did touch on the Spider-Man trailer earlier. I will admit I did not think about this aspect. I am happy to know the game still exists. That is nice, I guess. I didn't think about it that way. This is a good point.
Does it exist?
I think it must now that they're talking about it. They gave it a release window. That's pog.
I mean, that was shorter than the TikTok. They had to play it twice on TikTok for it to be a full 7 seconds on TikTok.
So true. But Deadpool, I think is really fun. I think that's some good DLC right there. It's like the perfect thing. Because I was struggling to get through the end of the story, I realized. And the thing that made me not want to keep coming back is that I actually ran out of friends to max because I have everyone that you can get friendship with. So Deadpool being in the game, I actually just went and got him, and now I feel like playing more so I can make him my friend.
You want Deadpool to be your friend though?
Yeah, dude, he's so funny. He keeps telling me I'm in a video game. I'm like, haha, I am. It's so great. Like, I love it.
The constant like fourth wall break is hilarious because it's like it's so on brand that it's like, how do they not understand this? Like one of the funniest thing about the like first interaction is like the DLC. It's just like, Deadpool loves something, and I forgot what
it is. Definitely not what I was expecting it to be, and it was really funny, and it's very much subverted my expectations. It's got good writing. They wrote Deadpool very good, and Nolan North they played the character before. It feels like slipping back into hanging out with an old friend, which is perfect for Midnight Suns. It's true. Glorious.
I think me and Stardust was talking about this a couple days ago. Where does this fall in like the mythos of the game? Because like
this is a good question. Because like it's designed to fit anywhere. I think because like they want it to make sense if you beat the game. I haven't yet, so I don't know like if there's some like I don't know what the implications of that are. Right? I don't know if there's even multiple endings. I assume so, but I don't actually know that. I'm dumb. But like they want you to be able to play it before you get to the end of the game, so they want it to make sense that you go grab them, and it's like it could have been during the main story. It could have been at any point. And I like that about it.
Spoiler alert, Batman shows up.
Damn, not again. That was my spoiler from my show that I did when Batman showed up. That was fun.
True. Ethan, what is going on with you and the Spider-Man stuff, man? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was worried that the game wasn't coming out anymore, but that trailer really sold me on the game. Yeah, man. It's got Spider-Man in it, if you didn't know. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It has Spider-Man in it, and also Spider-Man and like
Yeah.
PlayStation logo. It was dope.
True, yeah.
All things
Disney Studios.
that's important.
There's nothing else that I want out of a game. Not gameplay. That's for losers. Man, I hate that shit.
True.
Ick.
Goddamn nerds.
I really like it when a game makes me do the same gameplay over and 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 over again. That's my favorite. I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
You saw The Last of Us?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Good show, man.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. You hear it here first. You may not ever hear it again because I'm definitely not using this as a clip. This particular episode and just the last 3 episodes in general, and PlayStation having that like game trial, I've actually decided to give Last of Us a second try with the the remake. I'm not buying it yet because that's $70 and I was broke over here. Odin don't be he
Dude, Odin does need to pay us more. What is with this? We need to start a union. We'll get Thor involved. It'll be great. Anyway,
yeah, exactly. Like, because it's like, man, I can only buy like 1 game a week, and it's either 1 game a week or don't eat.
Stop making me laugh. I can't.
Such a terrible priorities. It's like, hey, yo, buy a game or eat.
Yeah. That's a good choice that I've not related to in my life ever. Definitely don't relate.
But from what I've heard thus far is that this episode was a very big deviation from the game, and it just goes to show when you actually really do like great writing. This is probably one of the most touching episodes, and actually probably a really good story. Like a lot of times when we in these type of things and they have like the side characters and things of that nature, I'm watching, I'm indulging, but in the back of my head it's like, yo, can we get back to the main characters at this point? That was not in my mind at one point in time. It was such a good build up to what happened in the episode. I'm not talking about it obviously if nobody's seen it, but it was such a good build up, and I'm just like, huh. I didn't even know it was, because me not playing the game, I didn't know that wasn't in the game. So I was like, huh. I don't remember this being in the game the first time, but I played it so long ago. Maybe it was. Okay, shit, that's dope. And it's like to find out it's not. It's like, oh, I like it
for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. You're gonna laugh, but okay, listen. I was watching TikToks earlier. Crazy thing to do. And I came across a Jay Stoops video, as I do when there's a new media going on that I like to get opinions about, because she's very smart. Okay. But she was talking about the episode and how like it's gonna have long-lasting repercussions. We're gonna be talking about it in media for a long time. And I think that's a very good point. Like, I think there's a lot about this episode that is really groundbreaking in the concept of a filler episode, which is what she talks about in TikTok. Where like it's kind of like, you could call this a filler episode. It doesn't focus on our main characters. It doesn't really drive the plot forward in the present day at all. It's all flashback, right? So people could totally say that it's a filler episode, but like there's not very many of that complaint, unless it's coupled with some other complaints. But it's like a really good example of how to drive the plot forward without driving the plot forward. Like, it's building up the world. It's doing a lot. It's telling you a concise, really good story that if I was to introduce someone to this story, I might even start with, because it's that good. Like, it's a great episode. The most recent episode is incredible, and I cannot recommend The Last of Us show enough, because it's just flames. It's so good.
And I think that is definitely a conversation we should have about that, because, right, filler episodes always, and again, for all purposes, this is a filler episode. It's always a write-off, one of those where you skip. I feel like while you can skip this, right, you could technically go all the way to the end of the episode, the last like 4 to 5 minutes. I think you'll be doing yourself a disservice by missing it. And I think that, especially with episodic, as impatient that I am, episodic shows like that, the ones that do weekly ones, I think more of these would be like more of these type of things, not just in video game adaptations, but doing these type of things with filler episodes is a lot better than just the goofy things that's not non consequential they do just because this doesn't really do anything to the story. I think that they have a good chance, especially if they adapting like source material. It's a good chance to bleed their own like image into those like episodes that don't have a story or not even a part of the story, to kind of like intertwine it to just show how well they are. And I think that's really good. I appreciate it. I appreciate about it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting way to do an adaptation. And it's really fucking genius to be like, here's the first episode. It's almost exactly the same as the game. Here's the second episode. It's almost exactly the same as the game. Here's the third episode. Go fuck yourself if you're expecting to be this to be exactly like the game. You dumbass. It's so funny. I love it so much.
Because the people who just only wanted to watch for the what you call it's like, what, this is not even, they didn't even do what bro, calm down. Just skip. If you just wait till next week, bro. Chill.
Yeah, and it's so smart because what they divert hard, but they fill your expectations with something just incredible. I just was blown away. I was like, I couldn't even keep up. I was like, wait, is this in the fucking game? Do I not remember that 10-year-old story at this point? It was crazy. I mean, it was implied in the game. Yeah, so in a way, they are definitely expanding on things that were implied in the game, but it's definitely not something that was shown in the game, which I appreciate nonetheless.
Like I was saying before, I didn't beat the game, and I played the game so much, like so far back, bits and pieces I remember. If there's a scene that's one-on-one that might pop up to a point, over to the time that I got to the point where I haven't seen anymore. And I do remember the whole going through the house and the letter or whatever. I remember those things vaguely, but like damn, maybe I just didn't miss it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. So the fact that they really did that was like, I'm not saying I want a lot of filler episodes, but if they drop another one like that, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it.
It's a really interesting way to tell a story, right? Like you're drawing parallels to your main characters the whole time. You're thinking about like how the world in the state that it is in the years that we didn't get to see when we originally jumped forward. You're getting to see how those are, and it's just such a nice way to like fill some of the space that was missing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But that's enough about The Last of Us. I gush about it for fucking hours. What do we have? I think it's just.
I'm gonna let you do that one because for some reason.
Oh, never mind. It was the Jedi Fallen delay that we already talked about. So I guess it is just James Gunn, my good sir. If you don't know, chat, there was some big news today in the DC world where James Gunn did some things, and he announced a bunch of DC projects, some of which we are excited for, some of which we are less excited for, probably. I don't know, unless Slip is somehow equally excited for every project, which would be so impressive.
I got you.
Yes, yeah, okay. There we go. And then, not to show off the thumbnail that I made or anything, but that's the thumbnail I made for the episode or whatever. It's not like it's good or whatever. Anyway, shout out IGN. I like the designs. They're good, man. You did great. Anyway, these are all the things that were announced by James Gunn to be in, I guess we can call it phase 1 of the DCU. And it's the things that we get to talk about. These are the slated movies and TV shows that are upcoming. Maybe I'll just rattle through their lists and then we pick out our favorites.
Oh, sure. That's it.
Cool. All right. From the movie side, there is Superman Legacy, which is a standalone Superman film. I think not an origin story. There's The Brave and the Bold, which is a Batman and Robin movie with Damian Wayne as Robin. There's Swamp Thing, which is a movie about the character Swamp Thing, which, if you don't know, I guess you might not, is the big green swamp thing that is in DC and is the guardian of the green, which means that he's like really into the green things, the flowers and stuff. I can't think of the word.
He's an environmentalist.
Thank you. That's the word. Oh my, that was driving me crazy. There is The Authority, which is a group of kind of like anti-hero type people. That's what I got from the video. I admittedly have never heard of the characters before today.
I made the joke about being Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with no particular knowledge. I could be dead wrong, but you know what? It was a joke regardless. I don't care.
Sure, yeah, it works. There's Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is a standalone Supergirl film, which that's kind of cool. I wonder if they're going to go with the same Supergirl from the Flash movie. They very well might. She's being set up. They talk in the James Gunn video about how they're using the Flash to reset the universe, but I could see them keeping certain things based on some things we'll touch on later. But yeah, that's the movies that were confirmed. The TV show list is a little bit different. We've got Waller, which is an Amanda Waller show with some Peacemaker folks. Lanterns, which is Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart buddy cop show. Holy fuck! Sorry. Anyway, Creature Commandos, which is I can't remember what was Creature Commandos.
Essentially the Authority, but with creatures.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, unheard of thing. The show, got it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it. Not necessarily like, I don't want to say Suicide Squad because it's not, but like Suicide Squad ish, minus the like suicide part, I guess.
Sure. Booster Gold, the TV series, which would be, I guess, a time travel show, and Paradise Lost, which is about Themyscira before Diana's birth, and they described it as Game of Thronesian, which is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, your favorite Slip.
Okay, J Shock Blast, I love you. Okay, I do. You know this. You know we right there. Lanterns is my favorite, 100%.
This is a great point Chicken in the Freezer makes. So glad they're calling it Lanterns so that they could focus on different types of rings if they wanted to. So smart.
Please. It's basically Hal Jordan and it's not basically, it is Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Screw Hal. Switch out Hal for Guy. It's
Sure.
a much better dynamic. Guy is like the goofy one, and John being like the kind of stern one. It's a much better dynamic.
You don't think Hal's goofy?
I think Hal's get packed up all the time.
I mean, I can understand why people don't like Hal Jordan. I'm not going to sit here and defend Hal Jordan, but we can admit that he is like, when you say Green Lantern, I'm going to think of Hal Jordan first. This is like the common thing that happens, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't rewire that. I think we should. I think we should rewire that. I'm on board for that plan.
Cool. It's cool.
I can understand why they would choose Hal Jordan. He's a big name. He's the name even in some places.
He had him already. He failed.
That's true. You make a good point. I'm not gonna fight too hard on this one, my good friend.
Listen, I'll make one point after that
things.
1 point. I'm not, bro. I'm not bringing it in there because I don't feel like anybody being like, well, what do you mean? I gotta pull up, comic spreads about some things. I'm just saying, if you look hard enough, you'll find out why Hal ain't really on the top of the list of lanterns. But
I'll fuck with Hal Jordan. I'll get it. I get it.
Yeah. Give me Guy and John. 10 out of 10.
I can understand.
And movie wise, it'll probably be funny enough.
Say.
It's gonna be the Brave and the Bold. It's gonna be the Brave and the Bold. I'm sorry. I have forsaken all types of Batman hate right now, but yeah, sorry.
It's the best day of the podcast. Holy shit, dude. I'm marking the calendar. We're celebrating this every year. This is great.
Like, to be completely honest, why not? Why wouldn't this be one of my favorites? Because the simple fact is, we finally get us a Robin, and the way it's being talked about thus far, just by pure first impressions, it's literally just a well-established Batman with a Robin, which means, and the fact that it's a Damian, they already said it's pre-existing. So there's no, this is the first so that means we already have an established Nightwing, an established Robin. I hope to God they change his name, but I'd rather have Red Robin than Drake though. But yeah, we have Red Robin, whatever. So you got the bad girl. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna show up. At least one of them are gonna show up and assist with So I'm happy about that. I get my boys. And Bruce
I agree fully. By the way, true. Bruce, who? Yeah, I think Brave and the Bold is gonna be really good. It's probably my top on the list as well, from both like movies and TV shows, just because like a Bat Family movie is the shit, right? Like the DC animated movie universe did a lot of things, and the couple of things that I actually don't like that universe for is how they handle Robin. I like the Damian Wayne in those movies. He's great. But I don't like that they like jump directly from Nightwing to Damian Wayne. Like there's no mention of Tim. There's no mention of Jason in that universe at all. It feels really out of place. So as long as we don't do that, I'm on board. I'm totally on board with this. I'd be really happy if like they reference I think most likely scenario, like a Nightwing is shown and the rest of them are referenced. I don't think they'll go too hard on the Bat family in their first
Yeah.
Batman project because the casual audience is used to Batman being a lonely little bitch, so I get it. But that's not the point. You know, we're gonna expand some people's minds. We're gonna start out small. I'm here for that. You know, I'm good with it.
I can even see them doing what we were talking about last time. The last time we talked about that up, where this kind of Brave and the Bold thing leads into like a television show for, just say, a Bat family, where Robin is kind of with Bruce, Damon's with Bruce, and the rest of them are kind of focused in that television show.
I could see it. I could see it like a Bat Family, larger scale TV show or something. What's the feeling about some actors voicing and acting the same character across different mediums? Does this pose a problem towards VAs? I saw this take on Twitter as well that you know Hollywood actors being in voice acting is a problem, and I've seen that take before. This isn't the first time the conversation has come up, and I think it definitely has validity. I would never want to discredit people that have worked in the games industry who probably know more than me about how voice actors get jobs, and I know from decently close proximity that getting a job as a voice actor, and especially starting out as a voice actor, is very difficult in the first place. So I'd hate to make those people's jobs harder. So I can totally understand where they're coming from, but I think it's inevitable. I don't think that DC doing it is gonna slow it or speed it up. Like, I think star power has always been a marketing tool, and I think it will always be a marketing tool. We're always going to have somebody try to attach a big name to something, like Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk 2077, and further examples that I could pull up, like 50 Cent's game that has like a franchise that I can't think of right now. Like, that's always going to happen. That's going to happen regardless of DC doing it. So like I would be silly and maybe even a little hypocritical to condemn DC for doing such things when I'm okay with Star Wars doing it for Cal Kestis and supporting cast members, and of course they are also hiring a bunch of voice actors for other roles. So I think that there's a happy medium to be found in there. You cast some big stars for your big name characters, and then you fill out the lines with traditional voice actors, and maybe everyone can be happy. That's the hope with DC. Hopefully getting into connected universe games, which is something that I have dreamed of since I was a young boy.
And I guess to follow it up as well is that when it comes to that, as long as it stays an isolated thing to like the DC universe game, even if it goes like, maybe they do that here and there with the Marvel stuff, with those being Marvel and DC, while those are very big IPs, they're not the only ones. I don't think it's enough to like kind of unask their position in the job, but enough to where maybe somebody who is an actor wanted to be, a voice actor as well, because those sometimes don't translate, and if they don't translate, maybe them getting into it, being forced into it because they signed up for a DC role, would kind of help them out in that aspect as well. And I also think that voice actors should also be be attached to the characters if they go to like movies as well. So like or at least they give the first try to it, because too many times where we have a game that comes up and becomes a movie, and then this person has been doing this entire time, and then next thing you know, you got Chris Pratt not doing a single thing but talking himself. And
Yeah.
especially when it's animated. If it's like an acting thing where it's like what's the word? A live action, cool. But when it's animation, why can't you use the same people that was there before? Why can't you use the video game Mario unless he's non-disposed?
I'd like to draw attention to something very quickly. Fellhorn makes a very good point that like you're going to see less range in voice actors. If we have like Hollywood faces attached to games, you'll see the same version of the character from movie to game. That's fine. I think that's a fair argument, but it is weird to me to follow that up with like, also, how can you top Harley Quinn? Because like, do you want to see the different actor take over the role, or do we want to see the same person take over the role?
Because
like, we can have it one way and the other. I don't know if we can have it both ways. And I totally get, like, I also love Harley Quinn, and there's some versions of the characters that I would love to see persist from movie to game. And then, maybe we do some Elseworlds games too, and then we see those different aspects in that as well.
The Harley show is a prime example of that. Kaylee Cuoco, who's normally an actress, she did really well. She does really well as Harley Quinn. Like, really well. Like, I'm not saying that she's terrible
Strong.
as well, because those are two different things. But with her version of it, she does well. Like sometimes, especially when you're reading comics, when you're reading stuff, sometimes you can hear those. You can make yourself hear those voices. Sometimes you can hear Tara
Strong.
Reid. Other times you can hear, Harley Quinn, and those are, interchangeable. But no one is better than the other. But like we know it's a touchy subject. As much as we all love Kevin Conroy's adaptation, at some point we're going to have to understand that we now have to get used to hearing something else. And it sucks, but
hopefully, the years and years of different Batman live action actors will prepare people for that, I hope. And we can treat it, with respect and passing the torch and not met with hostility, but we'll see. But you make a very good point. Ethan asks a great question. Do you think Brave and the Bold will creatively limit the Batman series? Like, oh, that other Batman movie just did Scarecrow, so we should probably scrap our plans for that? And like basically asking if the creative rooms of each Batman film will take into account each other's plans, which I think is very possible. I'd be surprised if they didn't at least talk to each other, being under the same studio. I'm sure if it's the right villain and they know that, they would make the choice. I would hope that James Gunn is creatively smart enough to know that if it needs to be the same character, it could be.
That's a really good question, because if you think about it, the same thing with kind of how Marvel is right now, where we brought back original villains from other things who play, the Green Goblin, Electro, things like that. Now, are they going to pivot from those villains because they had those, let's call them what ifs, I guess, if they have the what if villains or whatever? I think that at some point there's going to be a middle ground to where not do it back to back, but eventually it might be some correlation. Let's say that the next, because we know that the Joker and somebody else might be Michael Reeves. I'm not saying we do, I'm just saying as an example. We know that we wouldn't do that in Brave and the Bold, but let's say we go Scarecrow or Killer Croc, maybe 2 movies down the line, or even something like that. Now that, hey, it's an Elseworld thing, right? Especially the way you're doing it, it's kind of like variants. They could use the same person, or they don't have to. And different people do different, have different will have different takes on those villains. So I think it's possible, but it has to have that real good sweet spot for it. You can't do them back to back, obviously. So if you drop like Bane in the new one, you can't also do Bane in the next, with Brave and the Bold,
I can see where that would be a problem for sure. But hopefully they don't do the weird CW thing where, like, because the CW was a different, network, I guess, different company for sure, different studio for sure. It was like, you can't use the same characters really in both places. It was very strict, so I hope they don't go down that road again. That'd be super lame. I hope somehow there's a fourth wall break making fun of CW's Batman, like a snide comment about the bat suit not just being a literal suit. That'd be interesting. I'd be surprised. It would have to be in like a Flash type movie that's like a crossover. I'm almost wondering if that's why I started with Damian Wayne Robin for this universe, because Matt Reeves could potentially be working on earlier Robins. Good point. An interesting idea.
That is, yeah.
Spider-Man is a good example because I've been really curious, worried if we'll ever see an MCU version of Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro, Lizard after No Way Home. That's something that's been pretty common with a lot of people not wanting a Green Goblin because of liking Dafoe so much, which I think is lame, but I get it. I do feel that with the Batman going a more grounded approach, this finally gives creatives the opportunity to do a comic booky version of Batman that can be truly accurate. Make Batman fun again. Hashtag Blue Beetle getting canceled? I don't think so. They did. This is a good moment to talk about this. Actually, they touched on Blue Beetle in and Aquaman 2 in the DC thing, and they talk about it being a part of the DCU and leading into the DCU. The movies that come after the Flash, but are connected to the DCU, but are made before the Flash. So, do we think that those are going to be main DCU movies? Do we think that they're going to be set before the Flash resets the timeline? Do you have any theories?
Okay, so here's the thing. This is why I find it hilarious. I do think that they might be, I'm not gonna say Elseworld, but kind of like disconnected. Maybe it is Elseworld. Who knows? Like Elseworlds can. The thing about Elseworlds is, especially like in the comics, like Elseworlds and what ifs alike on both sides. I've always told people this, and they never really understood. What if was like, especially like what ifs and Elseworlds, they were like one issue things. But it doesn't mean just because it was a one issue doesn't mean it stopped. That universe stopped, unless the comic specifically said it died, right? Or they, this universe, well, it never stopped. So these things can go on their own and be pulled over, and all they need to do is make Cisco a main person in the main DC universe, and that way you can go back and forth with no problem, and it'll be canon.
You've touched on something that's actually very interesting to me, because the concept that you bring up of having like your universe live on is something I've recently been thinking about in regards to the Flash TV show and
Mhm.
how I want it to end. And I've changed my mind from like the lightning bolt thing. I literally
Mhm.
want Barry to just actually be in the fucking Justice League at the end of the series. Like that'd be nice. And then you can make like cut off references to the universe's Justice League doing things like randomly, and it'd be so fucking cool. That is now how I want the series to end. I will not be taking any questions. Thank you.
I mean, so technically in their universe, they have a Justice League. It's not.
They do. They just never have done anything with it, and it sits
Yeah.
there with literal dust on it. So just like go be a part of that full time, Barry, and that'll be the end of the universe. I'll be happy. Maybe.
Hey, real quick, if Blue Beetle does get canceled, I want to point out that I said that shit almost 6 months ago, so I'll be right. I'm hoping that between Pattinson and the other Batman, we got Red Riding Batman, Bruce Wayne portrayals. We got a proto Batman and one. The next one will be changed a little bit. So we got the proto Batman and Reeves or whatnot. I think that this one, he's going to be almost, the Batman that was actually from Batman Who Laughs. Yeah, the Batman the one that was messing that did the stupid shit with Barbara.
The Killing Joke.
Yes,
movie.
So that particular, I guess, aged Batman would probably be where they would go with that one. Minus the like being a huge fucking freak.
Yeah, I mean, as long as, oh man, if the DCU has any Barbara Batman relations, I will lose my mind. That's the worst.
It was so uncomfortable, bro. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, all my homies hate the fucking yikes Batman.
This
Oh,
guy.
what's old Robin say? Holy guacamole, Batman. That's cringe.
Peggy Carter series, which is it was a what if. Technically, that wasn't a what if. That was technically canon. All the MCU stuff is canon. It's just multiverse.
It's a canon to a different universe. It's still a what if.
Exactly.
It's the same concept exactly as a what if. In fact, it's these characters. You have a one shot thing, and they live on in their own universe, and these universes all exist, and they're all canon. But they'll just maybe never pop up again, and that's okay.
Like what ifs are being the changes or something like kind of how like what if instead of Steve it was Peggy. In Peggy's universe, everything happened the way it was supposed to. It's just that they kind of just dumped it at the end of the season. Like
I think the what if in that instance is literally just what if like it was Peggy Carter that took the super soldier serum instead of Steve, right? Like that's the premise. Barbara should be Damien's mother in the DCU. Ethan, I hate you. I hate that you put those words in my eyes, you bastard.
Oh, mid-30s. There we go. Like mid-30s, early 40s Batman. Perfect. To keep his flirtatious and promiscuous ways with Selena. Oh, God, please. Maybe Talia too, because it has happened at least once for Damien to be here.
Is Aquaman 3 going to be part of the new universe? Aquaman 2 was rumored to be. This is what we were kind of talking about, and then we actually totally didn't talk about because I'm silly. We were talking about whether we think Shazam and Blue Beetle is potentially part of the universe or not. Elseworlds related was Sliv's guess. I think it's probably just going to be before, to be honest. I think the best way to do it is just be like, yep, before universe split, and then it's canon to the universe, but before. And I think that's the way to do it. That's like the Silver Age and the Bronze Age and the Gold Age and like actual comics. So that's what I would do, but I don't know. James Gunn's
Blue Beetle was not part of the new universe because it was made before the change.
This is true, but the specific wording that I'm calling into question is James Gunn literally says like Blue Beetle will lead into the DCU. So I'm like, huh? What do you mean by that, good sir? It's very interesting. The whole video is very cool.
Does he even know what he's talking about?
I would assume so.
Questioning this man about his plan. Does he know what he's talking about? But no, I mean, no, don't get it twisted though. Don't get it twisted. I want Blue Beetle in the new universe. I hope he is, because I don't want that character to not be part of the main state of the DC. Like if he's 100% in the new universe or the Gunverse or whatever, I would love that. I would love that 100% because we can start getting into the points where we, maybe, I'm not gonna say Young Justice because I know people kind of don't like Young Justice, but I'm gonna say Young Justice. Why not? Who gonna stop me? I kind of want that because I know what you think I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say it, even though I do. I kind of like to see those things. Like that's what whole thing about a cohesive universe is that you don't just stay in that area. You don't just stay in Batman area. 10 years from now, we might be seeing a random Justice League Dark thing, and it's not really a Justice League full dark. It might be Constantine. It might be Zatanna and a few other people who are not necessarily mainstays of the Justice League, but because all of them are together, that's kind of how that is. So I want that to happen 100%. And yeah, put my boy on there. Put my boy's Shock on there, damn it.
Yeah, I think the Blue Beetle versus like Aquaman, I think they're going to be set at the same time ish, in my opinion. I know they come out after the Flash, which is after the universe reset, I guess. Apparently it's coming, but I still think they'll probably be set before. Just my opinion. Blue Beetle, I'm sure they can put wherever if they really want, but I don't see how they could possibly put Aquaman 2 after the reset unless like it's a reboot. It is confusing, so you're right to be confused.
Yeah. If you think Homie is gonna redo the entire redo the new Suicide Squad,
probably not.
Yeah, he's not. There's definitely he might not tell nobody that shit. He just gonna go. People just gonna assume with it, but he's not gonna reset that. Waller is from Peacemaker, and Peacemaker's from that Suicide Squad. So that's going all the way through. So he's not resetting that one. He's not resetting that one.
Good question, Ethan. I'm hoping that those plans for video games are big, but I don't know. It could just be James Gunn writing down, I want to make video games. So like, what do I know? I would hope that there's a little more thought in it than that. I would assume that there is, but we'll see. I want to just quote it. Alrighty, chat. If you don't remember, Just Quote It is the game that we bring to you every week that we are here, which is every week, mostly, where we tell you a quote, and you have to then tell me the rest of the quote or what it's from. And if you get any of these things, you get a point that is arbitrary and is like a little pat on the head from me and Slip. A little, you did good today, son or daughter or other. I don't know. The quote is, and this one might have multiple answers. This is a bit of a hint, maybe, but whatever. What's black and blue and dead all over? What's it from, Slip? What's it from?
I don't know what it's from, but it's Barry's mom.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Chad, if you can tell me the rest of the quote or who it's from, the Batman from Riddler, that is correct. It is a Riddler quote. It is in the Batman movie. There is another place that it's from, which you can maybe tell me from in the comments if you like. Dr. Doom and Fantastic Four 4.1. No.
Another one. Batman's parents.
That's insane. That's the wrong answer. The rest of the quote is you. You're black and blue and dead all over. Batman is who the Riddler's talking to. Isn't it the Batman Beyond animated movie? If that's said in the Batman Beyond animated movie, I'd be surprised. But it might be. But it is said in both the Batman movie and Batman Arkham City or Night. It's one of his like "You're dead, kid" quotes. I'm sure it's from a comic book originally. Willem Dafoe Green Goblin-esque line. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a stupid, like, it just shows that the Riddler can break as a man. It's pretty
exactly.
Nice.
It's like, hey, listen, I want you dead, cuz.
I've given up on being clever. And I'm fucking mad at you. That's what the quote means. I like it a lot. That was Just Quote It. It was cool. Chat, you got any questions about anything else now that we're here at the end of the show where we just chill and vibe with you? You got anything to chat about? We have recos to give. My first and only recommendation this week is to play Marvel Snap's new battle mode that we forgot to talk about. Slip. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Go play that.
Wait,
it's got a new co-op mode. Yeah, it's out. It's already out. I was gonna do a whole segment where we play a game. Maybe we'll do it right at the end. Dang. So Fast X, that Fast X poster looked pretty sick today. I saw it.
I think the next question that I seen was, "Are you ready for that franchise to die?" Yes. Also, no. It's a franchise that, like, it's stupid as hell. It's stupid, but you can turn your brain off and just watch it, and it's fun to watch. You know. But
For sure.
You know, anything where you never see anybody gas their car up or whatever, you know, you shouldn't be taken serious.
Can I get my Deadpool Recolors of Midnight Sun CD stolen? I got you, bro. Pull up to the window. I'll hand them out. Just give you your change. I'm not robbing you. Anyway.
That should make me think of that TikTok whatever with Welcome to McDonald's.
What's your order, bro?
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a dumb fun movie. The Fast movies, yeah, I don't mind them. I've seen the first 7. So, you know, like I'm not gonna hate on them. They're fun. They're not anything special, but they're goofy, blowy, uppy. So why not? Which of this year's big releases are you planning to play on the go, deck switch, and which are you wanting to play on the big screen? Interesting question. I want to play absolutely everything on the big screen and on the go. which is why I bought a Steam Deck, because it does both, because I can just buy it on Steam and it's also on the go, kind of, maybe. But that's a pipe dream. We'll get there one day.
Yeah, kind of that same answer. Like, I want to get a Steam Deck. There's definitely in the cards. And truthfully speaking, if we're gonna be completely honest, I want to play PC Simulator or House Flipper from the Steam account that I have on Steam Deck, because I think that is just
smart.
chilling or whatever.
I feel like that's a keyboard game, though. Am I wrong?
Yes and no. I originally played it on PlayStation. They service the PC version much more. They have, like, on the PC version, they have like pets. They got, like, gardens and stuff like that. They have a lot of stuff on there. And I think the console is just getting pets. Kind of wanted a lot of different stuff. Like, I seen luxury apartments and pets and things like that all on there. And they didn't have that on PlayStation at first. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna do that after the stream. I'm gonna go hop in the bed and play some House Flipper.
John Wick is the answer to that. They're gonna drive that series in the damn ground. Listen, John Wick doesn't have cars. Doesn't have all the fancy cars. What am I gonna do without my fancy cars? These are so important.
I mean, here's the thing: if John Wick keep being good, I'm gonna keep watching. I don't care. I'm sorry.
I've only seen the first one, so anyway. So what's the next dumb generic action movie that gets 12 sequels for no reason? That's what in the John Wick comment was in response to. This makes sense. I'm getting caught up. Which Robin do you want
Star
to
Wars.
kill the most? Wait. Which Robin do you want to kill the most in Suicide Squad kills the Justice League? That's a crazy question. Do you have a preference?
Damien.
So fast. Why do you know this? It's premeditated.
Because I love Jason. Dick is like a really cool guy. Tim wouldn't hurt a fly. Like aside from me bust somebody in the head with the staff, but Damien is a little shit that's like always annoying as hell. So if I had to choose, instantly.
That is crazy. That is a child. That is insane. But I respect your choice. In this world where you're forced to pick the least worthy Robin, I can understand. I would pick the Bat Cow in a Robin costume. What I'm doing, and then we'll make burgers.
Why you like this, Ethan?
What did Ethan say? For me, it's Jason, because it would complete his arc from night to die with his daddy Batman. Oof. I forget, was there a Wonder Woman movie mentioned, or was it just Lost Paradise? It was just Lost Paradise.
Yeah.
So we're getting Themyscira set up, but no Wonder Woman yet.
I think they're gonna recast her, like recast Wonder Woman. And I feel like they'll recast, like they'll do that movie and not have her until like the end of it. That's when they'll announce they have their Wonder Woman officially, like in universe. That's the Wonder Woman.
Or I could see them doing like an established Wonder Woman in the universe thing, and maybe Supergirl goes to her for help or something, or Superman even. He probably doesn't know how to fight for shit. He's just a fucking guy.
What's the big bad you want to see for I guess the first big bad? Because if we do this right, we might have a few big bads. So what's the first big bad you want to see
in a Superman movie?
No, Lex just Luthor. Yeah, of course. The Justice League thing.
Oh, a big like overarching villain. Oh, yeah. You make a good point. I'm a Brainiac simp.
We getting Brainiac right out the gate.
I think that'd be sick.
I like it. Trigon.
You have to do a Teen Titans movie in like your phase one to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'll go with it. Like thinking about that too. Like you would have to establish a really good Titans for that.
I think that's a great phase 2 though, right? Like you introduce Damian Wayne in phase 1, and then he builds his own team in phase 2. Like that's fucking hype. I like to see Paradise Island prior to Diana's birth. Yeah, that sounds great. They compared it to Game of Thrones, which already has me super interested. Okay, hold on. I actually have one last thing from that segment that I forgot. This, I don't want to call it unCAGEDgamez or anyone specific. I've seen this echoed in a couple places, this opinion. I just want to talk about the opinion. I get holy shit, that was wrong. I get James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy more known, but they didn't start the Marvel movies with Guardians of the Galaxy. So for the restart of the DC universe, I don't think they should throw a bunch of unknown DC properties at us right off the bat. Let's start with the good base of like traditional characters before we get to the obscure characters. Very, very common take, I think, with the whole Slate announcement. And I wanted to just give my opinion, which is that like I think it's valid to worry about the ones that are unknown and be like, oh, are those going to pull in the views? I don't think so, but I also don't think that that's who those movies are for. I think that they are trying to build an established universe, and I don't think that every character in phase 1 of Marvel was 100% established. Maybe they had bigger names than some of these do, like for sure, almost 100% guaranteed that's the case. But there are people that will go watch every DC movie, even now, that's the case, and they suck. Like, if you're flipping a coin on whether that movie's going to be good, right? Like, if you just are. There are people that will go watch these shows and these movies regardless, and they'll be able to just kind of spread the word if they're good or not. So if you're worried about them not being good because you don't know who the characters are, don't go watch them right away. Is it maybe scary for the future of the universe to build off of unknown characters? I can understand why you'd have that fear. But personally, I'm hopeful that the projects will speak for themselves, and then word of mouth will do the rest. The Batman disrespect, I think there is some base in there for sure, right? Like they are doing that as well. I think there's a bit of both going on.
I'm so glad that you are the good cop today. And again, if this ever got to Uncaged, it's nothing against you. It's just that is a terrible take. And the reason why is because Marvel started with obscure characters. As of right now, 2023, yes, we could say, oh my God, Iron Man is so great, Thor is so great. They started off with obscure characters. Who was checking for Captain America in 2007? And that was a small amount of people, yes, but who was checking for them, you know? Who was checking for the Iron Mans and the Hawkeyes and things like that? No, nobody was. But it was a good story that was brought together well. If you can trust that James Gunn can make Guardians of the Galaxy, good, I think that this it's the chance we gave the MCU in the beginning. Because think about it, in the beginning we had Iron Man, we had a Spider-Man, so that was pretty, popular person. We had Blade. Those are in that time frame. Those are the three type of things that we had at that time frame. If you want to throw X-Men in there, you can in that aspect or whatever. But we didn't start off with a good base. Like, realistically, if Iron Man didn't hit, we wouldn't even be talking about Marvel right now. Like, it is okay to worry about it, but I would give the same worry as you did with the MCU in the beginning. If you didn't have that much of a worry then, when you went to sat down to see RDJ be the Iron Man for the first time, I don't think that this is too far of a stretch, because at the end of the day, we still, at the beginning of it, we have some of the popular characters aside with the obscure characters. They didn't really do that in the beginning of the MCU. They just had here. If you want to ignore Spider-Man, if you want to ignore Blade, currently right now, as they wasn't technically MCU, we had Iron Man drop, and that was it.
I want to address two comments real quick. Hulk being a popular character, I can see it. Hulk was a pretty big name, in especially the comic world. But like, did anyone know that movie was connected to the MCU originally? No, nobody fucking knew. Like, they knew, and people knew originally for sure. But there's a window in there. There's like a 5-year period where everyone was going, that movie's in the MCU? Really? Were we sure about that? I remember having that conversation like 7 times.
I wanted to ignore that movie so bad. Because the first one and the second, the only time you knew for sure is if you watched the deleted scenes. And it was because, especially with the one shot too, like later on, or what you call it, when they didn't want General Ross to deal with the to the Avengers, and they sent Tony Stark, who was the in the MCU, to him, and that was the connecting fabric right there. That, and at the end of Incredible Hulk, when he hulked out that last time, he was the reason why Captain America was unfrozen. Type of shit.
You don't even know if Incredible Hulk is a reboot or a sequel or a requel. I think we do, but it is not super clear. Also, last thing, Black Widow wasn't in any animated stuff prior to the MCU. I think she's in these movies, which I think are pre-Iron Man, and they're both animated Avengers movies that I watched the hell out of, by the way. I love these movies.
Wait a damn minute. Go to the
they
third
slap.
one.
This one? I don't know if I have seen this movie. This movie's great. It's also connected to this universe.
2008. Okay. I thought that shit said 2000. I'm like, oh, you know what? I am done for the night.
2008. No, different years.
Banner is not canon. Norton's is. Banner is
Norton's is canon. Forgot those existed. I have also done that. Not a problem at all. I just wanted to point them out for anyone that doesn't know about them. They're fucking great. Go watch them. I love them. They're so good. Every one of those movies is incredible. I love them all.
Is the new Avenger that new Avenger one on Disney Plus?
I don't think the future Avengers movie was connected to the Ultimate movies. It might not have been. I like to think that it was, but you're probably right. That might just be my own personal headcanon shining through.
That's a television show, huh? He is on that. Okay. Oh, Future Avengers is the is that That one with the kid turns into some.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. These Ultimates movies had such a terrible cap. I don't remember the Captain America very much. I know he like had a thing with Black Widow, but that's all I can remember right now. But they had a cool Black Panther.
Yes.
Anyway, how do you think Flash will be introduced? Since they're doing Flashpoint, they can technically keep Ezra Miller as the Flash. I don't think they'll do that. I think they're talking about the movie. They're hyping it up because they have to, and I think that once this movie goes over, they'll be like, "Yeah, our plans for the Flash are this and this and this," and they're not. They're nothing to do with Ezra Miller.
Again, the same thing that we did. We talked about doing for the CW Flash. We can do here at the end of the Flash movie. Barry runs so fast that he becomes electricity, but instead hits Wally, and Wally becomes the main state of the Flash.
If Zach gets booted because of his comments, but they keep Ezra, we've lost. That would be super lame. But James Gunn already did put a statement out about that, I think, saying in very James Gunn fashion, and this was a pretty baseless tweet, but he was talking about not firing people because of disagreements of opinion. And like you can kind of understand and put together why James Gunn would have that opinion about firing people because of tweets. It happened to him and it was silly, and he got a better job and now he's the head of DC. So I can't really fault the guy for being like, yeah, I'm not going to fire somebody for tweets.
If nothing else, he'd be the biggest hypocrite for doing it. Regardless of how people feel about that, he'd be the biggest hypocrite for that.
Wally best Flash? Wally's up there.
Wally's my favorite Flash. I'm sorry. Unless we're talking about CW Nora West Allen, and then you know what?
That's excess. But that can be your favorite speedster.
Sorry.
What up?
I don't care who she is, as long as she's my favorite. Up there. Just give me Jessica. What's her name? Jessica Parker. I don't know. I don't remember her name. Just exactly. Let me cook, man. Let's make Nora the main Flash for the DCU. Let's do that. Yeah. I don't care who get mad about that. I would be the one. I would be there defending. I would quit my job and defend her on Twitter all the time if I need to. Damn it. I'm lying. I would not quit my job, but I would still do it though. I would still be at work telling people to change their password, defend her on Twitter. Promise.
You got any reco Slip to wrap us up?
Give something a chance, a video game a chance that you didn't think was going to be a good game. Give it, because I kind of tried the game trial, and if you have the highest PlayStation tier or Game Pass, go pick something up there that's free and just try it. It might not be your cup of tea. It may be. Who knows? Try it. Why not? Push yourself into a new genre if you need to. Except sports games. Fuck all sports games.
I'm going to go play Rocket League after this Slip.
I'm going to go look at some of the Game Passes. I'm going to look at some.
Hell yeah. I should probably finish Fallen Order. True. That game's great. Henry Cavill as the Flash is insane, but I respect it.
I mean, you have until April, so you good.
What are you doing this week, sir? What you got coming up content-wise?
We're going to fully start because I saw a little bit of Forspoken on just to kind of get acclimated to it. I think we're going to start Forspoken this week. So tomorrow and Thursday, we'll be doing Forspoken on the Twitch channel here. I'm
going to be making a short about Melania Part 2 and how that went. If you were there in the stream, you already know. It was crazy. It was a crazy stream. I'm excited to make that YouTube short. And then that Elden Ring short will go up on the YouTube channel. And I will also be working on the podcast, which will go up on Friday as always. Go subscribe to the podcast channel. We edit the podcast now. It's great. There's timestamps and everything. Go check it out. See you later, gamers.
Yeah. Where's the button?
What's shaking, people? It's your boy unCAGEDgamez. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And this time around, it's Snip and Syncro. Let's go! You can't stop. Syncro and Slipshock. You rocking.